All the numbers are in. 2023 saw the greatest number of billion-dollar disasters in the U.S. on record. Here to talk to us about it is Adam Smith from the NCEI. What stands out to you when looking at this disaster map, when poring over the numbers? 28 of those disasters just in the last 365 days.
Yeah, it's striking that yet again last year was a high diversity, a high frequency, and a high cost for these different extremes, really from coast to coast, as we are really getting used to. Unfortunately, even Hawaii got in on the mix with their wildfire tragedy. But the most costly event was the drought and heat wave across the South and the central states at 14.5 billion. But severe convective storm events, hail, tornado, high wind events, those drove the highest frequency, 19 of the 28 events across much of the country.
Yeah, that kind of stands out when looking at the map. The number of severe weather events. How does the total number of damages compare to past seasons, and what goes into that higher number?
So the total cost for the 28 events was about 93 billion, and that's in the top 10 of the last 44 years, inflation adjusted to present day dollars. And so we're accounting for about 16 different asset classes. Commonly things like damage to homes, businesses, vehicles, infrastructure like schools, roads, bridges, agriculture, crops, and livestock. And of course, that was really impacted by the heat wave and the drought. But even other things like electrical grids, levee systems that can be damaged, and even time element losses like business interruption or when you're out of your home while it's being rebuilt. So all that is captured, but it's still a conservative estimate to what is truly lost but can't be completely measured.
Sure, that's a great point. You said it before, drought was the most costly event this year. When we have big hurricanes, those are usually at the top of the list. And that may be hard for people to think about. So what goes into creating $1 billion or 14 billion, in this case, drought disaster?
What we saw in 2023 was really a drought that was kind of moving around the country. But the heaviest damage was, in the core agricultural states, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, but even Louisiana. The second year in a row where we saw the lower Mississippi River had a low water flow, which restricted barge traffic up and down the river. But it really comes down to heat, drought, damage to irrigation systems, and even livestock. The cost of feeding livestock, for example, the cost of hay goes up dramatically for extreme drought events. And so that's also factored into the analysis.
So the trend of the number of disasters we're seeing, in which direction is that going? I'm assuming it's going up.
Yeah, unfortunately, the trends for many of these different metrics we look at are going the wrong direction. So the costs are going up, the frequency is going up, the diversity of these extremes and the breadth of these extremes is going up. And there are, of course, several reasons for that. One, the exposure, where we build, how we build, our vulnerability is increased as people move to the coast, to the river basins, even to the wildland urban interface out west. It's a matter of trying to better plan for the future because we know these extremes will continue and we want to mitigate our future risk. One silver lining to the fact that we've had so many of these disasters over the last decade plus is we have the opportunity to learn from them what went really wrong, how to fix it, also what went right, where is our resilience, and try to kind of restructure our exposure and our vulnerability to these different extremes. So since 2017, over the last 7 years, we've had 137 separate billion-dollar disasters around the nation that have taken over 5,500 lives and have cost $1.1 trillion of damage. So, these are real numbers, and we can change and make it better as well if we learn from the past to enhance our future.